Good morning. It's a great morning on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. This morning, we have our guest, April, Wyett, and Isabelle Fortin. It's going to be amazing. Listen in. Here we go.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook.
The experience is made possible by these great sponsors. The Aspects of Aging weekly talk show, unscripted conversations with experts, each week hosted by Christine Smith on AgingBetterNetwork.com. Financial advisor and farm certified representative Kelly Capel at Country Financial, personal, commercial, and farm insurance. 355 Pacific Avenue, Suite A in Monmouth. Authors Joan Williams and Karen Pascal. Now available on Amazon. Your Gut and You. Proper gut biome can enhance your body's immune system while improving mental health and combating obesity.
Oh, and hey, we're actually here live. Really, we are. I promise we are, but I was so busy doing things. There we go. Good morning, everybody, to the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. Oh, my goodness. One of these days, I'm going to get that down. So I am so thankful you're all here today. Scott and I are coming from two different locations, and Scott is definitely mobile today. Scott, how are you doing?
I am doing good. People can check my Instagram. I've been posting pictures of the mobile office there as it forms different shapes. I was actually going to set up over outside of the Independence Hotel where we've been staying the last 2 nights, which is right across the street from the apartment that we've been living in for the last 2 years. But then I realized there was no electricity out there, and my computer didn't have enough juice to hold through the entire experience. So I ran back to the apartment, set up at the last moment with a mobile setup, and here I am.
There you are, bare walls and nothing in your apartment. It's all empty, and it's sad because you're leaving too. Well, Scott, I'm so thankful for you and everybody. Just so you know, even though Scott's on the move, the Experience Live with Russ and Scott will still be here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. So remember to tune in, because it doesn't matter where you are or where we are. The experience is happening, and you can view or listen. That's right. After we go live every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, then it sits on the platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook for, wait for it, infinity and beyond. That's right. Forever. It sits there, and you go back and watch it and share it and do whatever you want. It's really kind of exciting. And then, but wait, there's more. You can also listen to it. If you don't have time to view it, you can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. So don't forget to do that. And I tell you, we love all of this technology, but also remember, we would love to have you join our YouTube community. That's right. You can go to theexperience.video. If you know the name of the show, you know how to get there, and subscribe today to our YouTube page. We love that. And if you really want more information, Scott's created a nifty little landing page called local.theexperience.video with more information about Scott and I and about all that we're doing, as well as the experience. And that also encompasses our show, The Experience Local, which is every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So we are busy, right, Scott?
Yeah, there's always tons of stuff going on, and it's a great community. Be a part of the Experience community. We just had the Global Tea Break. That's another community. But the Hounds of Business, I just want to give a big shout out to all of the hounds that are out there, including, I see Mike Ashenbrainer, the lead dog over there, I'll say.
Lead dog. He's the lead pack dog out there. And we have two amazing hounds with us today.
Mhm.
And these ladies are amazing and doing amazing things. So I think we should get rolling, Scott, and get things moving. What do you think?
Yeah, well, and set this up a little bit, because this is round 3 with our guests today, because there is so much wisdom that comes from them that we couldn't contain it into one 30-minute show, two 30-minute shows. Even though our shows still usually go about 40 minutes, we couldn't even contain it in that. So it's going to be a great day. Something to
Too
share.
much. That's right. Too much amazing stuff. But so we are going to get rolling, and we're going to start off with April today, and she's going to get us kicked off. Hello, April. How's it going?
Hello. Good morning, Russ and Scott. Thank you again for inviting me back. As Russ, you say, together we're better, and this is what it's all about. So thank you for having me and Isabelle back. It's truly a wonderful place to be here with you all.
Well, thank you. And we appreciate you, obviously, because we keep having you back on. And, when you tap into awesomeness, you got to keep it rolling, right? So
I'll take it.
There you go. So let's start off with, for those who don't know, which is not too many people by this point, who is April Wyett? What are you up to and what's going on?
So much, right? When we live, my business is living with intention. So when we take that approach of living with intention, so many opportunities open up. For example, I know Scott, he's in limbo of moving, and that's my life all the time. My background looks kind of strange. I'm a full-time RVer. So we're moving, we're going, we're seeing different places, meeting different people and communities. That's what I love to do, is to co-create. We're parked in Michigan, just outside of Ann Arbor, and I'm going to be offering CAM services training for their massage therapists and estheticians of Douglas J. Aveda Institute of Ann Arbor. So these are just a few of the things that I get to do. Also, I'm all about holistic wellness. So we're talking, your mental, your physical, emotional, spiritual health, really having a well-rounded approach, because it all starts from within ourselves and it ripples out to others in the community. That's what I'm all about.
Well, that is so awesome. And I got to say one thing, Scott, before I turn it over back to you. And that is, I've got to connect you, if you are not connected, April, with Joan and Karen in New York. Do you know them?
I think I'm going to know them soon.
You are, yes. And, they are amazing holistic wellness ladies and so awesome. And when I go to New York, I'm going to be able to have dinner with them and hang out, and it's going to be amazing. And so I'm definitely going to have to connect you with them. But Scott, go for it.
I recognize that background. A friend of mine, David Ash, he and his wife and 5 children, the youngest being not even a year when they were out, being full-time RVers. And David is an attorney, and he built an attorney business, his legal practice, so that he could be on the road full-time. And so it's quite a challenge just to travel with children. I can't imagine RVing full-time. But give us a little bit of the highlights of what kind of decisions led up to you being a full-time RVer.
Yeah, it really has to do with the mindset of being inspired and motivated, keeping that inspiration, that desire of what it was that I was wanting. So it was the freedom, the travel, the seeing friends, because my husband's retired Navy of 26 years. So we have friends scattered across the nation. And I wanted to see the friends. I wanted to see different places and meet new people. And so, Scott, I'm sure you can appreciate this, going through all the things in the house, downsizing, and I had to remind myself, these are all just things. Less is more. I want more in my life. I want to let go of these things because really they're not getting me anywhere. If anything, it's kind of weighing me down if you want to think about it symbolically, holistically. And as I allowed myself to let go of all of that, even the house, cars, right? Because we had to change our rig. We have a big 3,500 Dodge Ram, a big dually that she pulls our fifth wheel. Shifting all of that and just really focusing on, wow, this is going to be amazing. Isn't this exciting? I'm learning new things about myself and learning new things, how I can have a better relationship with my husband. Seriously, because we're in a confined space. And so just giving him ease and grace when he was going through things and
Mhm.
myself at the same time. That's the big takeaway too, right? Is
I'll just
that's the
Yeah.
working from the
I'll share a
inside
little
out.
bit about that, Russ.
Go
Yeah.
You
for it.
know, so as you're talking about the things, right? So we had this on the backstage. I showed the pods pod that's out there, right? Little tiny shipping container, and I ordered it. And in my brain, I thought, wow, this sounds huge. It was 16 feet long, right? And it's 8 by 8. So the cubic feet inside that thing is like just over 1,000 square feet. And when it got here, and then I looked at the stuff in our apartment, I thought it's not going to all fit. And then we started, and so we're like, okay, let's look at these things and go, what can we not do with, right? So we'll weed through some of that stuff. Well, guess what? When we loaded that thing up, we loaded it about 3/4 full, and I'm going, is there anything else we can put in here? Because there isn't. So everything that we have is less than 800 cubic feet. And you talk about the things, and the things are often triggers for memories, right?
Exactly.
And they're not the memories. So if you don't have them, you still have the memories, right? And so
Yeah.
you can winnow down. And we've been on a process for about 7 years to get rid of those things. And I was really happy that our whole life is less than 800 cubic feet. Now, when I went into the Air Force, and the last quick story, Russ, was that uh, went into basic training, got out of basic training, and I had a suitcase full of clothes. I had a duffel bag full of green and blue clothes that the Air Force gave me, and I bought a guitar. So uh, our house, the family home out in the country, burned to the foundation. And so everything that I owned, I could carry by myself in one trip.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I've got to talk a little bit more about that at another time because we want to get Isabelle in the room and get her to join the conversation. Here she is, Isabelle Fortin. How's it going?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you? I was listening to you guys and I was thinking about my dad, him and his wife are both 85 and they're going through the process of having to let go of things and they cannot do it for the life of them. They can't. It's just, and I love what you said. It's the memory is not in the thing. The memory is
Right.
inside of you. You don't need the thing. I
Right.
love I love that. But as far as they're concerned, it's just they don't know who to give it to. They don't know what to do with it. And it's a whole process, right? Of letting
Yeah.
go and knowing that, they're slowly going towards the end of their lives. So it's not easy for most people. It's not easy.
Well, I just want to say, as having to sell my parents' home and take care of all that, do your kids a favor and start throwing stuff away now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. All
I
right.
had
Hey,
this discussion with them recently because I said, you guys you're looking for trouble because one of you at 85, more than likely, one of you is going to become ill rapidly and their health is going to deteriorate rapidly. And then you're going to pass on the problem to the other spouse or all of your kids. And so, yeah, but people can only do what they're capable of doing in that particular moment, right? So
Right.
giving
Well,
them grace and understanding, and that's it. That's all I can do.
exactly. Well, it's so hard. I completely can relate to that. So, but we're going to back up and say, hey, for the couple people here in the entire world that do not know Isabelle,
Oh.
who is Isabelle Fortin? What in the world are you up to?
Well, there's a lot of people who don't know me yet, and I'm working on that. So I'm Isabelle Fortin. I am a team leadership strategist. So what does that mean? Well, it means that I empower human-centered leaders to tap into the unique abilities of every single one of their team members so that everybody gets their goal. That's what I do.
Wow, you're quick on that. You are focused, and that is a good thing because, yeah, we all can use a little bit more of that.
Yes.
I love this whole discussion today, though, about things and what's important. And, my word of 2024 is abundance. And
Mm,
abundance does not mean a bunch of things and stuff, right?
no.
I am a firm believer that God has created an abundant world around us with amazing things. We don't need to gather a bunch of stuff. There's already all this amazing stuff to tap into. And
Mhm.
and so, April, as you downsized to move around the country, I love that because it does help you to focus on that when your hand is forced, like in COVID, when we were forced to go online, we learned so many good, valuable lessons and great things that we probably would have never done on our own. So when you downsize and you were forced to get it all in a motorhome, so that makes a big difference in how you perceive things too, right? It's definitely a
Oh,
physical process.
most definitely. I don't need the things to feel that I have abundance, because just as you perfectly said, Russ, it's about the joy, it's about abundance. I walk outside. Grew up in the Pacific Northwest, okay, among the trees, evergreen
Woohoo!
trees. Yeah. And so I walk outside wherever we're at, and I can see the beauty, and that's abundance. That's what fills my cup. That's what just really inspires me. And when I'm in that moment of being surrounded by nature, by God, that's when I feel everything just lift off, because I know I'm in that centered space, and it's freeing. It's really freeing, that
Yeah.
space of abundance.
It was I saw this comic recently, and it's father and son standing in front of the garage. The garage door is open and it's just packed, filled with stuff, and it's falling out. And the father saying, "One day, son, all of this will be yours." And we talk to our kids, right? Do you want this? Do you want this piece of furniture? And they don't, right? So it's not, we don't want to burden them with the decisions. We will make the decisions now because they had the choice, they had the chance, right, to say, yeah, we want that, we don't want that. And one of the first theories that I ever came up with, I called it cultural scarcity. And cultural, because culture is all around us, right? It's the water to the fish, right? You just is like, we don't even recognize it. But cultural scarcity. So economics deals with the allocation of scarce resources. So it's not cultural scarcity in that we don't have enough opera in our lives, but the foundation of it is placing value on valueless items. And there was a time when we needed to do that. So go into your great grandfather's garage. You'll find mayonnaise jars and coffee cans full of rusty nails and screws and mismatched items, right? Because back in the 30s and the 40s and even later on, you didn't have Home Depot right down the street, right? So we kept those things. So we needed them. And that mayonnaise jar was done holding mayonnaise, but boy, it's solid and the lid fits on and all this thing. So we ascribe value to valueless items, and that continues today in our culture. So think about those inkjet cartridges that you just spent $60 on, and it's empty, and you look at it and you go, but gosh, it doesn't look bad, and maybe I could put some water in it and shake it around. It's got to still be good, right? But it is valueless. And so, Isabelle, I just want to get your perspective too on how we hold on to things, either physical or emotional, that drag us down.
My favorite motto is, if you don't use it, pitch it. If I don't use something, I'm going to give it to somebody else. And exactly for what you said, because Home Depot is literally at the end of my street. And, thankfully I have the financial mean to be able to buy it again if the need arises again. But what I like about your question is the emotional part of it, because we hang on to mistakes we made, and we let these mistakes define who we are just because we've been making that mistake for a long time. It's like, it's mine. I'm holding on to this thing. And it's the same thing. Take the lesson, keep the lesson, and then move forward and leave the mistake. I actually don't believe in mistakes. They're lessons, and that's it. We all take the best decisions with the information we have, with who we are when we take the decision. And so there's no mistake. Hindsight is 2020, right? If I can look back and say, oh, maybe I should have bought a house when in my 20s, when houses were $60,000, but I wasn't ready. So it wasn't a mistake. It is what it is. You have to let go of that thing and just move forward, and just trust that, if you knew better, you would have done better. So we need to stop holding on to things and emotions and just take the lesson and move forward with the lesson.
Yeah.
Make sense?
I think that we all are really lifelong learners if we
Amen.
intentionally do that. I mean, life is continuing to teach us. And I love
If we
that.
let
Take
it.
the lesson. Yeah, that's it. You got to choose that. You got to be
Yes.
intentional about that. But life is definitely the best teacher if we allow that to be letting us grow and learn through situations. And sometimes really the best lessons, and I think you guys would probably agree with this, are the roughest challenges we have, the toughest times teach us the most. And so I always look at things like, the positive within that. I mean, my theme of life is the good news is I'm always looking for the good news, the good side. The other day we were painting our kitchen. I pretty much hate painting, but I told my beautiful wife, I said, but I'm with you and we're here and we're making the kitchen look better. And there's so many good things. I said, I'm going to focus on those and be happy and not think about the fact that I don't like doing this. Because sometimes you just got to focus on those other things. And those are life lessons that we learn as we go through. But especially, my beautiful wife is great at what I think, April, I think it was you that said it, but one of you, about tossing it if you don't use it, right? I mean, if she looks in my closet and she goes, you haven't worn that for the last 3 years, it's going. If you haven't used it, why do you have it? Why are you hanging on to this, right? And so we all tend to do a little bit of cluttering, but she's really good at decluttering my life. So, all right, well, Scott, take it away from there. I know you have a thought. I can just see it on your face.
Well, yeah, I want to hear April's thoughts too on this about not just the physical, but those emotional things that get in the way. This baggage. So how do we eliminate and concentrate is the phrase that I had learned many
I like
years
that.
ago. Yeah, eliminate and concentrate. Focus on those things that you choose to focus on. And we were just talking about with my daughter how people can influence her, and that she has made a decision to get away from those people who influence her the wrong direction, right? That weigh her down. And the phrase that we said was, they don't get a vote, right? They don't get to vote. And so, April, I'd like to get your thoughts and your perspective on this as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because we are influenced by the cultures you said earlier, Scott. It's the water, that the fish is swimming in. And if we're not aware, if we don't bring awareness into our mindset of, am I doing this because I feel obligated to do this for this person? Am I saying yes when I really want to say no? Because when we say yes to something, we're also saying no to something else. And usually it's for our own self-care. We have blurred our boundaries. I know Isabel's going to come in and give some good tips here. Although I do want to bring it back to paying attention to our bodies. Our bodies are so intelligent that we can feel the resistance. So when we step back, pause, bringing that awareness when we're feeling that heightened or anxiety or overwhelm, whatever it is that we are sensing, and simply take a breath. Our breath is so powerful. That's what, balances our nervous system. It gets us back into the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, to where we can make clearer choices. We can really tune into our own, innate power of ourselves. And so that's what I'm all about too, is the biodynamic breath work and empowering people to find a safe space within themselves, to feel that resource, to allow tensions to melt away. And that way we don't feel so heightened around other people, have those thoughts stirring around in our minds. We're able to approach people more open with curiosity.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hey, being the responsible host, I need to start moving towards wrapping things up for today. Believe it or not, we're already wrapping up and at the end of our time. But Isabelle, I'm going to start with you. And what I really want is your final comments, wrap up gold nugget of the day, and then how people get in touch with you. So take it away.
Say no more often than you say yes, because then you get better yeses. That's it. How do you get a hold of me? Isabelle Fortin on LinkedIn, or my brand spanking new, not even a week old website called againsttheordinary.org.
Against the
That's
ordinary.
brand spanking new. I think it's 4 days old now. So I'm very happy about that.
We'll have to get that on there with everything else. Againsttheordinary.org. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes. I think, April, before we jump to you here, I think preconceived notions, I love that, against the ordinary. We accept the premise of certain things. And I put out a little inspirational post every morning on Facebook for years. And Monday, I said, who says Mondays have to suck? Be bold, go against the grain, and have an amazing day, right? I mean, you get to choose that. So April, it's up to you. Go for it.
Oh, wow. I love that, Isabelle. I'm going to check out your website for sure.
Thank you.
For me, I think the big takeaway today is less is more, right? Less stress, overwhelm, by setting those healthy boundaries of saying no. So that way you have more quality yeses. I love that, Isabelle. And keep living with intention, right? How are we showing up for ourselves every day?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And everybody gets in touch with you. Did you already say it? Did I miss it?
It's livingwithintention.co.
Love that. Living with intention. I'm telling you, it is so important to be intentional in all that we do. And ladies, I tell you, a blessing as always. And so thankful for you both being here today. And we will talk to you again soon. Who knows? An episode 4 may pop up somewhere. You never know.
So fabulous to hang out with you guys. Thank you for imparting the wisdom.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you,
bet.
Isabelle. Thank you, Russ and Scott.
Hang tight in the green room. We'll see you in just a moment here. Goodbye for now. Scott.
Fabulous.
Wow.
So much wisdom.
I know. It's amazing. I have learned if you just shut up and listen to people that know a lot. I think you taught me that, actually. You actually are better because we are better
It is
together.
in the
And,
title, motivational listener, right?
there you go. Well, it's interesting. Somebody just said this to me, that the beautiful thing of live streaming is to get great wisdom and knowledge from other people. You get to hang out and just ask amazing people questions
Mhm.
and learn as you go. And April and Isabelle are two of them. And so very thankful for their friendship, for their willingness to spend time with you and I and hang out. And Scott, I'm not going to be able to see you in person, so I'm giving you a big air hug
Oh,
before you
thanks, Russ.
drive off.
Feel the
And
love.
thank you. I'll be flying over there soon, and we're going to work that out.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, come on down, and there's a ton of stuff going on. I look forward to sharing that in the coming weeks as we move to Waco and start meeting the new people down there and sharing those stories. I was just thinking about this great discussion today and eliminating the things that don't add value to your life. And the phrase that I like to use is, do not be constrained or do not be limited by artificial constraints, right? And this is what I was often called as out of the box thinking, but I wanted to expand on that and say there are artificial constraints and they don't exist. So don't be bounded by the ordinary, as we learned today.
I love that. That what they said to the ladies, you don't get a vote, right? Or did you say that? Whoever said it on the show today. I love that whole thing that goes along
Well,
with
this
what
is this is
artificial
why I
constraints.
love to record the shows, because if I say anything profound, I can prove it to my wife.
I love that. Well, this is the thing I would like to add to what you just said. So artificial constraints, things we make up,
Mhm.
even people that say these are the facts, you need to actually analyze that because they're human made facts a good share of the time. Other
Mhm.
than things like gravity and things that God created, we have created so many artificial constraints in our life. We have
Mhm.
so many limiting beliefs and things that we limit ourselves and what we can do. And you can start right off when somebody says something to you and say, I don't accept that. I don't
Right.
actually believe that. This is where I'm going. And I actually had one of those conversations yesterday where I had to be respectful and tell somebody, well, I didn't really believe it. I didn't believe that. I didn't agree with that, but that was okay. I was going to be nice and respectful, but we don't have to just go along with everybody.
That's right.
That is being nice and just getting along and being a yes man or a yes person is not how life really, not how amazing things happen. You got to step out of the box, like you said. So anyway, all right, listen, we're
It's
here
been a
every
great show,
Wednesday.
Russ,
Thank
and
you.
I look forward to the next time we have coffee live together. We don't know when that will be or where that will be, but that's the way it is every day.
That's true. That is so true. And I just want to thank you, Scott, for being an amazing friend and co-host. And Scott and I are here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. That's right. It becomes a video podcast after this. You can share it with your friends. Please put hashtag replay if you're watching on replay. And if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever, send us a note. Let us know. We appreciate that. And, you guys are so awesome to be in this community because you make the show happen. We want to thank our sponsors again because they're so amazing. They make the show happen. And Scott, until we see you again, you'll be in Waco next Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Everybody join us. Enjoy life and enjoy
the experience.
Woo, I'm going to get that right yet. Here we go.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.